Happy Sunday. This is Dr. Amona Washington for Management 3310, Managerial Communication, VC01 at Wayland Baptist University. I hope you all have had a very productive week. I'm going to use this time to give you some feedback on Homework 1 and on Discussion Board 2. My apologies for the mishap with Discussion Board 3. Not sure what happened. You have additional time all the way to Wednesday of this week, so no worries. But actually it worked out well because this allows me to catch up on the things, the steps that I need to make. So, great job overall on Homework 1. Really, this was just the opportunity for me to get to know you better, to know more about you. And it was very difficult to not be successful because that was the objective, just to get to know you and for you to have the opportunity to get writing. So I'm going to give some overall things, and then I want to say some shout outs to you, things that I picked up. Very diverse, interesting group. I am super excited, and I have decided to post weekly videos as feedback. So hopefully this will be an adventure. This is my first time doing it. Please keep the feedback coming. I really appreciate honest feedback if this is something that is working or what else would you like to see. So here we go. First thing, please ensure all homework assignments are 2 pages long, double space. I understand oftentimes the directions in the book, in the content, will say something different. Please go always by the class policies, which are 2 pages long, double space. Ensure that you are uploading your homework as Word documents. That's very important. If I gave you a 0 because of that, no worries. Please just resubmit it. No late penalties from this point. But moving forward, please make sure you are following the instructions. Overall communication. Listening. Listening is the most neglected form of communication. And I liken it to a few reasons. We are taught growing up in school to speak, to write. We're not taught to listen. We believe that if I'm sitting here and you are speaking and I am hearing you, that I'm listening. But in actuality, listening requires an active part on both players. I have to hear you if I am in close proximity and you are speaking or making noise, the fan, the phone, those things you have to hear. But listening requires an active part, and we are not taught to listen. And I would say that listening, regardless of what your weakest communication skill is, if you will improve your listening skills, you will see an overall improvement in your ability to communicate effectively. I am a good listener. Oftentimes I am on the phone or even person to person and I'm paying attention and the person has finished speaking. And usually my husband may say, "Are you listening? Hello?" Or if we're on the phone, someone will say, "Hello?" And I say, "I am listening." Because when you listen, you are not formulating responses in your head. Typically, a person is speaking, they have said something, you remembered, you identify with, or maybe angered you. Immediately at that point, when you are focused on that one part, you have stopped listening. Now you are focusing on gathering the words for your response. That person is still speaking, but you are not listening because you're thinking about the response. for the first part of what they have said. Active listening requires you to not do that. And I will say a tool to use to help you improve your listening is to focus on the whole thing. And you will know you have actively listened because the person would have finished speaking. And at that point, once the person has finished speaking, you are now thinking, you are now recalling everything and going over the points in your head. And you might have to say, okay, I heard X, Y, and Z. And what was that last part again? Because as you have completed this exchange, they have spoken, now you are recalling it in your mind, you are gathering your words, you are gathering your thoughts, you are thinking about how to respond. It is typical that you would have forgotten some piece of it. As you become more adept at doing that, it'll be shorter. And you will often say, now I remember, okay, X, Y, Z, but what else? Did I get it all? Another active tool in listening is when the person is finished speaking, for you to summarize, for you to say, let me make sure I have it. What you are saying is X, Y, and Z. Now I know you may think, I don't have time for that. But I promise you, if you incorporate this in your communication style, it will move as you become more experienced. It will move. It will be seamless. This is not a long process. So I challenge you all, by the end of this course, to at least implement one or two of the tools that I've mentioned. There will be tools in the context that talk about improving your listening. And at the end of the course, I would love for you to share with me how it has impacted your overall communication style. Slowing down. Some of you have talked about speaking too fast. I had to work on that. I'm a New Yorker. We typically speak fast. I have learned to take breaths and then begin to speak. That kind of settles me. Some of you have mentioned you've taken a speech class. Awesome. I highly, highly encourage all students who are in management or will be in a industry where you will often deal with people, Toastmasters. Toastmasters is an internationally recognized professional association. As a matter of fact, I recently read an article where top Fortune 500 organizations listed that when they see Toastmasters on a resume, that is an inclination that this person is an experienced communicator. So please look at your local Toastmasters chapter for that information. It will highly, highly make you a better overall speaker and manager. I want to say William and Henry in this class are our new students. So I am encouraging all you seasoned students to post tips that you have found that have made you more successful in the online environment. I know off the top of my head, I will say time management is really the key to online instructing. Versus if you are going to class from this time to this time, that is in your schedule, it is edged out. But online education, you have to, oftentimes students say, I'll fit it in. And that typically is not successful. You have to put it on your calendar just as if it was an appointment or you were going to work, whatever time that is. The other suggestion I would say is make your times in increments, maybe 15, 30 minutes. Maybe you could take your lunch and read some of a chapter, or you'll start a discussion question. Oftentimes you may not have 2 or 3 hours to work on an assignment, so break it up. use your optimal time. If you're a morning person, perhaps you should get up a few minutes, well, not a few minutes, but maybe 15 or 20 minutes early to read over something. If you're a night owl, then you stay up late. I know oftentimes when I was working on my dissertation, if I would come home, I'm tired, so I would take a shower right away, and that would give me a good maybe 30 minutes of being up, and I could read something during that time. So those are my tips for not only my new students, but for people in the online environment to stay on top of the scheduling. I'm going to talk about some people. Ginger, wow. Ginger is in this class, and she is going to be a marine biologist. I don't think I've ever met anybody that's a marine biologist. So Ginger, when you finish, please let me know so I can put that in my tool of I know a marine biologist. Steven is an instructor for fiber optics. And you talked about paralleling travel. I did the same thing. I retired from the military, and then I had a job as an investigator, which required me to do a lot of traveling. And although I loved it, I at some point felt like this is not what I want, because in the military I spent a lot of time away from my family, and maybe second nature I was attracted to that job, but now I had the opportunity to spend more time with my family. So I totally understand. I did the same thing. Lauren, you were born in Goldsboro, North Carolina. I go there very often because my mother, I recently moved my mother, who was 83 years old. I moved her from New York City. She moved to New York from Snow Hill, North Carolina when she was 20. And I moved her back to North Carolina, to Goldsboro, when she was 80. And so we go there often. And they have this pizza shop. It's called a Brooklyn Pizzeria in Goldsboro, North Carolina. And I have been all over the world. And it is the most like, when I go there, I think I am in the Bronx. So I love Goldsboro, North Carolina. Lauren, I just absolutely love it. Marcus, you're a chef. So listen, I need to know where you're going to be. And if you ever need somebody to taste something or anything like that, please don't forget me. Alex, Alexia, sorry, please forgive me, Alexia. You know what I identified with you in terms of how you said the military and your family prepped you for college. I think that often, you know, there are countries that students have to have a commitment in the military. You have to go, I think it's 2 years in Russia or somewhere, I can't remember. But the military did. It prepped me as well. So I just totally identify with you in that aspect. I love your entrepreneurship spirit as well. Marsha, I want to know, can you email me cardio bag kickboxing and agility training? I go to the gym and I work out and I'm trying this whole yoga thing, but that agility training, I'm very interested. So if you would email me and let me know what that is, I might see if they have that in Atlanta. Brenda, thank you. Thank you so much for what you do. You are responsible for our future. Brenda is a teacher, and I cannot say thank you enough for our service, and it disheartens me that teachers are not appreciated as much as they should be and are not paid what they are worth. So thank you very much for that. Juliana, you know, I want to say you're transitioning from private school to public school. I would love to hear, I know you said you're starting in July or August, I would love to hear what you found to be the difference. As an educator, I have decided to open a charter school. So I would love if you would keep in contact with me and email me once you get back to the public school and tell me what you see are the major differences. William, you're a new student and you're taking 3 classes and you're a full-time worker. Wow. Okay. So hopefully the tips that I shared earlier will be helpful for you. Jacob, I can totally identify with you. Jacob talked about maybe not being as experienced in the technology. So here's my advice, Jacob. Take it in small bursts. Go on YouTube. Go on YouTube if you have access to lynda.com. Start in small parts. I would not advise you to take a technology class because I believe that those things talk about theories, and people like us, we need the information to deal practical technology in our day-to-day. So I am as well using YouTube more to teach me things. Like this video. The other two videos I did on my phone, but I went on YouTube to find how to do this video on my laptop, which makes it much easier to upload. So yes, use YouTube. Matthew, I think it's great for you to work on going from being an instructor to helping writing curriculum. And whenever you transition out of the military, curriculum writing is a highly sought after skill for you to be able to write curriculum and write training. So that's definitely a good skill to have in your toolbox. So good luck with that and stay on it. Outline, Angela, you said you're good at outlines. Well, I would say use your outlines and then try speaking first. Either a voice recording or writing it out, and use the two to help your writing. Because if you're good at outlining and then you speak it, I think you can pick the themes that might help you with your writing. Let me just say I am a better speaker as well than a writing. So these are tools that I use as well. Miguel called Mike. This is what I take. As far as Miguel says that sometimes he over-explains. Think and speak in bullet. Write bullet points, speak in bullet points, and wait. Wait to see if someone asks for further clarification. But work on speaking in bullet points and see how that works for you. Jed, I wanted to tell you to look into the CFP, Certified Financial Planning. If you already work in the industry, really good certification to put in your toolbox, pretty extensive, but something to look at either to combine with or as an alternate to the CPA. Excuse me, because the financial planning is being used, again, in conjunction in terms of with individuals and with companies. So please look into that. Certified Financial Planner. Rob, you said you overthink your writing and it takes you a long time, but I don't really see that as a negative unless you're just pressed for time. If you overthink it and go through it and you're successful, if your writing earns good grades or the message is received well, then I don't see it as a negative, other than if that is taking too much of your time. So if that's the case, then I would say work on timers. Set a 30-minute, whatever it is, set the timers for yourself. Because even though you're overthinking it, if you're successful, then it works. And consult. Same thing. Time yourself and use an outline. Time yourself when you're talking and use an outline. Teresa, I loved it. An ambidextrous tomboy. I love it. And after reading your assignment, your inspiration, you're a model. You show your children and people that know your story that everything is possible. And I just applaud you, and I want to tell you I'm so super proud of you. Heather, I do hope you learned something. I think that everyone can learn something. I've been teaching for Wayland for some time. I have all these degrees, but I will tell you, every single class, I learned something from the students. This is your opportunity to share your experience, and we all can learn something from that. last but not least, Brittany. Brittany, I love LaRue. And my LaRue consultant moved to the Netherlands. So if you send me via email the link and your stuff for LaRue, I will be very happy because I love LaRue. And I think that it's an awesome way that you talked about. You had some sales experience. It's an awesome way to stay in business, to say that I'm still in business as you pursue whatever your next step is. Overall, you guys did a great job. Week 2, I think we covered great. You guys did a great job in terms of what, and I'm going to make it short because I've been speaking for a while. How can you justify taking the time to, in today's busy society, to read and all those things? And this is my bottom line. We're not saving hearts here. An extra 5 or 10 minutes. We're not doing heart surgery. Take the time. It's worth it. And in terms of technology, yes, the person-to-person, not that it's obsolete, but we have other methodologies, other modalities to connect with people. And writing is one of them, because we can write a text or an email in a short period of time and then return to what we are doing. And so it is important for us to improve our writing skills. Well, this was week 2. Homework feedback and discussion board feedback. I put it together because I was behind, but we will be caught up. You guys have a wonderful week, and I look forward to your engagement in the classroom. Please remember, you have to respond to 1 student per discussion question. So if you did not earn full points, that would be the reason, or you submitted a 2 or 3 liner, which is not adding value. But I know as we continue, things will be better. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening, and I look forward to working with you next week. Bye.